Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Three Good Guys podcast. We got some fun stuff to hop into today. I've been waiting to hop into this for an entire week, even though I got nothing to say about it. That don't make no sense, but you'll see in a second. But before we hop into today's episode, first things first, let's hop into these introductions. My name is Miles. To my left,
Rodney.
to the right,
Leonard,
and today, y'all, we're gonna hop into the biggest movie in the country.
we talking about Sinners.
This got to be the biggest movie in the country.
Hey, where's my wife at? We're supposed to be talking about this.
I'm not sure she gonna come in. She gonna get into this.
Okay, before we talk about what we feel and how we feel, just give me the out of 10 rating that you
And
give
how
it.
I feel about the film.
Yeah, 0 to 10. You know,
0 to 10.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
10
give it
10
a
perfect.
9.5.
Ooh, 9.5 is
9.5.
high.
Truly enjoyed the film. It was a wonderful.
9.5. What you got?
Ooh,
Woo!
we got a
Gives it
10.
a 10.
10 out of
10
10.
across the board.
Yeah. What do you give Sinners on the scale of 0 to 10?
We got a 5.5.
She go 5.5.
5.5.
What you rocking with?
I'm giving it a 6.5.
He giving it 6.5. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the only person in the building that has not seen this
Could be a
movie
7.5.
yet. Okay, I'm the only
Yeah,
one
you're
who
right.
hasn't
It's
seen the movie yet.
6.5. Definitely 6.5.
And I've been
No,
hearing
6.5 for sure.
absolutely conflicting, as you can tell, results about this film. But we haven't had the in-depth conversation as to why this film is amazing
We're going to have an in-depth conversation.
or kind of mid. So,
I have multiple things to say about it, but
but I want to start with the amazing though. Can we
Wait,
get-
that's what I'm going to start with.
Go ahead,
The
do your
amazing.
thing.
All right, because
Hear this.
I know I have a lower number, okay? First off, when everybody was telling me, I was hearing people saying they going to the theater twice. Now, you know me, I pirate everything. So for you to
should not be saying
spend
that on
money on a movie twice, I'm thinking
We'll get into the reasons there.
this is the color purple.
Write this down for me, huh?
All right,
Theater.
so that's what I'm thinking.
Write that
So-
down.
He said color purple.
Now,
Yeah.
this is just for me, all right? Once I saw it was a vampire movie, it already lost points for me. That's just me. That ain't got to be everybody else. That's just me. But I do want to say
Write
this.
that down for me too.
But I do wanna
Vampire
say this.
movie.
but I
it
do
down.
want to say this. I don't like, and I'll get into the things I didn't like, but I'm not going to act like it was a trash movie. When I say Michael B. Jordan acted his hind part off,
I've heard that.
when I
so many
say
times.
he deserves an Academy Award for this, he played two people who had two different mentalities, and it seemed natural. It
the
looked
boy is good.
like twins. It wasn't like, clumps when they all sit around the table and it's like, oh, that's Eddie Murphy, that's Eddie. Nah, this was two different people who looked just alike, played by the same person. It was great. Like, I have to give him his props for that. Like, his acting was
Somebody told
phenomenal.
me, you know how whenever Lindsay Lohan was in Parent
Parent
Trap,
Trap.
and we all thought she had a twin.
Yeah.
So all kids growing up that see
Somebody
this movie,
said that.
they
and I
gonna
was like,
think,
yeah, I heard
they gonna think,
I saw
oh wait a
somebody say
minute, he didn't have a twin brother. But yeah, continue.
that. No, he played it better than the twin, though, bro. It was so natural.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's that. I loved how they handled it. It was like multiple movies inside of one. Like, it could have been this movie, it could have been that, and then the way they wove it all together, like, that's not an easy thing to do. So I'm not here to crap on the movie. Like, there's some highlights, and I get why some people love it. I just didn't love it, and I'm okay with that. But before we get into
Are
it,
you black if you don't love this movie? Oh,
And I was
she
getting ready
said
to say
you
that.
Oh
got
my
your
God.
black
I was
card.
getting ready to
okay,
get into that.
she's just
I was getting ready to
ignore
get into
that.
No,
Ignore
no.
that.
I
It's
was
just a
getting-
stretch.
I was just getting ready to get into that.
It's just
Before
a
we get into,
stretch.
like, the whatever reasons I may not have had liked it as much as other people. Yeah, man, like, my wife posted about it, like she didn't like it. People came for her.
Mhm.
And I was like, dude, it's just a
Just
movie.
a movie.
Listen, I didn't come for. I just said we're gonna talk about it.
I mean,
I'm
but
not
you
gonna
saw, you saw the comments,
Yeah,
though.
no, it was going crazy.
They was going crazy.
doing too
And I
much.
was like, dude, it's just a movie. So
Let me go look at these comments.
yeah, you can check out the movie. So yeah, that's that. I don't want anybody to think that, like, I was like, oh, the acting was whack or the concept was whack. Like, I don't have that. There was just certain things in the movie that dampened it down for me, and then also just the concept of spending your money twice on it. I was expecting Forrest Gump. You know? But I said it was personal. I said that off the rip. I said, oh, it's a vampire movie.
That shouldn't
Off
take
the
down your.
rip.
That shouldn't take down your rating at all.
as
It needed-
my rating for
What?
me, not for you.
As far as how many times people paid to go see it,
You got to double support with people like me out there, huh? Yeah, we got to watch it twice because you didn't pay for it.
cool.
No, but go ahead. You gonna talk about what you liked about it?
Well, no, I think the movie, in all honesty, like when I first watched it, I enjoyed it a lot for a lot of reasons. Cinematography was excellent, sound design, even the actors who they chose for the roles. I'm a big follower of Miles Canton before he even started acting, so this was his acting debut,
Killed it.
and I was just like, "That's crazy!" Like this kid,
Killed it.
awesome.
His voice.
Yeah, no, his
It was
voice is
amazing.
crazy. It's crazy. If you hear his voice before this, like when he was younger, when he used to sing on the little Ty Tribbett tribute
Mm-hmm.
Christmas thing, super high pitched, like crazy voice, and he's really came into his own with his voice now, like with it being so deep. This dude did great. I was really like just proud of him to watch him. Of course, I love Michael B. Jordan. I love the director. Oh my gosh, Ryan Coogler.
Mhm.
Everything he makes is pretty darn good. And I like that he pays attention to detail. That's why I like this movie. That's why this movie puts it over the top for me. A lot of the reasons that people just for face value enjoy the movie, sure, that's a good movie in that aspect, but the detail that he paid attention to, for instance, one of the parts of the film, sorry, spoilers,
Oh, this
are
is
going
spoilers.
to be
Oh,
spoilers.
100%.
Spoiler alert.
so I don't listen. I don't know how long we're gonna talk about this, but there's gonna be spoilers mentioned. Okay. So there's a part of the film where you see Smoke go into the city, and the whole interaction there in the city was amazing. Even the attention to detail as well as the dialogue. Like he coming in, people tell the young girl like, "Hey, wash the car 2 times, and then let me show
Love
you how
that
to
scene.
negotiate." Like, you know, you don't just go with what I give you off rip. You negotiate with me. I love that. Then he goes into the Asian. You see how the Asians had 2 different buildings. So it was
That's
like
a
the
true
black,
story.
the black side,
Not
and then
the movie,
we
but
took
that's a true
care of
story. They did
the
that.
whites over here, and like even the transition between those shots, as far as like go get your mama, and she goes out. Goes on the other side, you see the demographic of people change. You see the energy, even just the design of the place on the white side is different. Like that stuff is like, dang, he really took his time to understand what the climate looked like back then and implement it to the movie to where we can understand it, and to do it in such a short time frame. It's excellently done. It's really good. So yeah, and then the aspect of even their accents and how that translates 1-to-1. Like the Asian actors in there like had a very thick Southern accent back in them days, and you see, people, you see a big Asian influence, in the southern section of the U.S. that have that, and people are like, oh, that's not authentic. I'm like, it is. They lived here for years and years and years. So that was dope. Okay, but that's just an example of that. The whole first 3 acts of the movie before it gets to the vampires and everything
was
right?
beautiful.
You didn't have this movie didn't have to be a vampire movie.
It didn't have to.
It could have just went more into the backstory of Smoke and Stack, and it could have really rounded out that way too. Now,
let me just interject. Let me interject. If they had made a movie about like them leaving Chicago, coming down south and setting up shop, it would have been fire.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand how y'all feel about it, but I'm just saying, for me, it would have been fire. Cause I want to see more movies with the twins. I want to see the twins in Chicago.
For sure.
Working with Al Capone.
Now, of course, I would say I would too, but then part of me doesn't, because I like things to end. I don't
Well, that's what I'm saying. They messed it up.
No. I like things. I don't like things getting milked, because then it takes the value out of the original that I like so much. The movie was really great, so this gives me more reason to not want to make a sequel or a prequel. Unless, like, now you can surprise me, because some prequels or sequels can be really good, but in this case, I feel like this should just be the movie, and that's it.
He killed it.
Like, we don't need a Coming to America 2. That was trash.
No, that was absolute trash.
It just needed to be Coming to America, and that's it, and that's all it needed to be.
Yeah.
You can HD digitally remaster it, or you can VR. You can sit in there, hearing Queen to Be, and like you're sitting in there, but. Don't give me another movie. I don't want another Sinners movie. This should be the only one that's good. Back into the movie, though. So, the vampire part, a lot of people were like, oh, vampires are here. It's random. It was not random. The way that they set it up, I liked how they set it up. There was value in the setup, and there was very much purpose to the overarching story of why the vampires are important and how it parallels to the time. So the vampires were symbolic as far as giving you a grounded or a movie version of like a narrative of the times and like what we have to deal with or what we're still dealing with today or what we've dealt with back then. So that was a use of the vampires as far as like this is how we can be unified on this, like, you know, that's basically what, you know, through music or through whatever. And it showed the aspect of how it was just, yeah, it's a lot to it. And then going and transitioning over to the KKK and how they were implemented afterwards, it just hits harder. That whole scene afterwards, after all the vampire stuff happens, when Smoke is there and he takes out the KKK, that hits way harder because the vampire stuff happened. Because all of that was invited into the world. So, yeah, we can get more into it in detail. I don't want to do too much, but let me hear... I need to hear your gripes with the movie.
That's what we like
and why
we don't like.
Yeah, I'll get into. I'm gonna get into now. Some of the things are minor. I know it, but that's how I felt. And some of the things I felt were even more major. And then Jenny, you could also chime in on why you don't like it, because I'm pretty. Like I said, I think we disliked it for different reasons. All right, one. I was just annoyed with the Native Americans because why did they not come back? Like, they came out like they were vampire hunters. So, when it's time for hunting vampires, they were nowhere to be found. That just annoyed me. As minor as it is, it annoyed me to the end of the movie. I was like, where are the natives at? Because I felt like the natives knew who they were. Or they did. The natives knew who the vampires were. Yeah. They knew how to handle them because he was out there running away from them. He was scared for his life. So, I'm like, where are the people at that know how to handle these? But I knew they was going. Okay. I knew the cavalry was going to come, and the natives were going to come.
That sounds
personal.
Hold on, wait. That sounds good, but this is the fact of the matter of it being a period piece. In what situation have you ever heard in times past like that Native Americans came to save some black folks? 0 times.
Well, what I'm saying is they were
to even save the white folks.
Why
0 times. That's why
hunting him.
Listen,
they just stopped.
They ran him off of where it's not their problem anymore. They don't care about him.
Let me ask you.
They tried to help.
You ever seen a big spider in your house and it went away? You ain't never said, "Well, it ain't in this room. It ain't my problem no more."
What?
You
it's still in your house.
Spider.
It don't matter. It's still in your house.
Same thing. They believe the land is theirs, right?
Listen.
It was still on the land.
No.
I was like, why did the natives stop? Bro, that irritated my soul. The
whole purpose was this. They ran him out of their area. And this was an introduction. There's a possibility he could run right back.
And he gonna run back with more.
But they're gonna be ready just as
ready before.
Yeah, just as they got ready at a drop of a dime. They'll probably be arguably more prepared and more ready to handle them or whatever. So it's not a big deal.
That was
and the purpose. That's not. They're not a random drop of people. They were there to provide context as far as like, okay, these are a big bad. Because guess what? How would you have adjusted if he would have just ran in there with nobody chasing him, just like, hey, invite myself in, boom, boom, or whatever, right? And he's like, oh, randomly he's a vampire. What? That doesn't give any type of context
or purpose they serve.
But why are they even a point? Why are they a point of contention? I'm not finished yet.
Oh,
why are they? Hold on. I'm gonna give me 10 more seconds and we good. But I've heard that point only brought up twice by 2 people that talked. They were like, I feel like they're random. I'm like, that's cool that you feel that way, but what other purpose would they need to have in this story that we're not telling about them at all? Well, they just like a random police officer would come in and run somebody off. Like, what are the police doing? Like, we're not concerned about the police. This is a story about them. They don't have anything to do with this in that facet. Their whole purpose was, I'm giving you the warning. I'm running him off to where he ain't in my neighborhood no more. But like, if y'all invite this man in, y'all should let him out so we can handle him. If not, we got to go because now we know he about to turn 3 of y'all and we don't want to try to fight 3 of y'all. We'll take care of this one. But we out of here.
I mean,
ain't our problem.
That's cool. I just feel like it bothered me, and I'm okay with being bothered.
All right, cool. It bothered you. I don't know how that's a bother.
Do y'all think that
not enough to bring a rating down? Go ahead.
Do y'all think that there would have been a way? Again, I did not see the film, ladies and gentlemen. would there have been a way to reintroduce the people that I'm guessing in the beginning of the film they were
They
introduced?
weren't in the beginning. None of the vampire stuff was in the beginning. But no, yeah, like I said, they should have been the cavalry. They should have came through.
They and
When
hold
they
on,
was
hold on, hold on.
fighting-
That
Let me
cheapens
finish,
everything.
Let me finish. Let me finish my question now. When
Huh?
they were first, I got a question because I'm trying to understand because again I ain't watched the movie.
It don't
When
make
they
them
were
trash. I'm
no,
just saying.
but when
that's
they
how
were
I felt.
first introduced, did it feel like we're gonna see them again?
No.
Okay.
Literally, I can explain you the scene. This doesn't spoil too much anything. Well,
You
I
can
mean, we're
spoil it.
already
I'm probably not
spoiling
gonna watch
anyway.
it anyways.
He not gonna
But we're already spoiling.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So there's a scene he literally drops in the frame and
Drop,
he's like,
look like he dropped out the
yeah,
sky. Yeah.
drops in the
He
frame
burning from the
and he's
sun.
burning from the sun, right? Running to the house, begging the people to let him in. The natives are chasing him down, basically, like, whatever. Okay. Once he gets in, they let him into the house. Then the natives knock on the door, and you see like crows around the top of the house or whatever. Anyway, they're basically explaining to him like, hey, did you invite a gentleman in the house? Like, we need to talk to him. Could you let him out or whatever? Hopefully you didn't invite him in. They're basically lying to him, saying, no, there's nobody here. Blah blah blah. Pointing shotguns at him because they did eventually invite the guy in, or allowed him to come in because they felt bad for him or whatever. Now, of course, number of things. Because he was a white gentleman, they let him in. Obviously, if he was any other type of
They
guy,
definitely
sketchy guy,
wouldn't
they
let him
weren't
in.
letting him in. Just as there was sound, decent people in the Native Americans talking to them, not giving you any crazy story, they weren't going to pay them any mind. But you later find out in the movie that they're KKK associated anyway.
Mhm.
So it's a whole nother reason why they let him in there and why they turned away the Native Americans, because they don't rock with anybody but white folks.
Yeah. All right. I got no
So
problem
so
with
that gives you more context. Of course, later in the film, of course, you don't know that right then and in there, but you find out later on that they were KKK associated.
So,
So-
bring the Indians back, then
It didn't have to happen. No.
It didn't have to happen.
But it leads to another thing that I don't like, and this is LB personal. It just felt like we wasn't allowed to have our own personal opinions
No,
about this
'cause if
movie.
No, you're
black-
not. You're not.
If you're
Yeah.
black, you have to love this film.
Exactly, that's how I felt. All right, so then even though I praised it and said he should get an Academy Award, right?
You can't say the N word.
It's not enough.
But it's not enough. But I hate films where everybody die. I hate films where everybody die, and there only one person survived in this movie.
Dang.
They dead. They dead, and we're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah, they are dead.
They're dead. They're dead.
No, they're dead.
They're dead.
They're.
So there's only one person that.
Do we need to give her
So
a mic?
wait. No, she don't want it. But so there's only one person that survives. But you know who could have helped more people survive? The natives, and that's why I wanted them to come back. Because as I'm watching everybody die, I'm like, oh, I hate movies where everybody die. And when
But there-
I don't know if it's Smoke or Stagger, because I can't remember which one. But when he died to the KKK after he knew that was coming, oh that
What?
really pissed me off.
What? What are you talking about? The man he was one against like 20 dudes.
I would not have been there. I
Listen.
would have been in my car.
Listen,
I'm out of there.
listen. No,
I'm not mad at him for doing that.
it's a
I hate
recall.
movies
No,
where everybody
let me
dies.
explain it
And
to
I'm
you.
gonna keep hating.
You
those
gotta
movies.
understand. You gotta understand the purpose, because this is the thing. I believe I'm fine with.
And he let the
I'm
white
fine.
man kill him too.
I'm fine with everybody dying. I'm fine with
And
everybody
he knew that
dying.
was coming. He took out most of them though. I ain't gonna lie. He just
No,
got caught.
he
right
took
there.
out
He
all
took
of
out
them.
all of them. Yeah, but he just got caught at the end.
He took out all of them.
Yeah, he did.
One against like 20 dudes.
1v20. He did his thing. I'm not
Okay.
saying he didn't, but he died.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. This is it.
And he was happy to die.
Exactly. Hold on.
Even more reason
It-
why I didn't like it.
The fact of the matter that everybody dies in this movie makes sense, because if they don't die, it cheapens everything. This is the thing. I would have hated. I
love a good cheap movie then.
I would exactly.
I do.
That's like really corny. That's like the good guys when everybody just lives. Like nobody gets
No, it
hurt.
didn't have to be everybody.
Everybody's good. We're just all good. We all riding to the
could've
sunset.
been two
Nobody
people.
dies because there's no real danger.
It
We
could've
got
been two
plot
people.
armor. We got plot armor. We'll just live because
I love
we're
plot armor.
we're
watch One
we're the
Piece.
main character, so we just win. I'm just
a lot
like,
of plot armor.
think about other adjacent movies or shows like Attack on Titan. If Eren survives, Yeah, okay. But it cheapens everything. It cheapens his whole
hold on.
purpose. It cheapens his whole purpose of why he did what he did.
All
It
I'm
doesn't
saying
make it
is-
as grounding or as
It was
effective.
like it was like 6 people.
Nah, man.
How many people was in that
too
thing?
loud.
How many people was in that barn at the end of the night when they
mean-
when they started fighting?
We don't know because there was a lot of background people that were there too.
Yeah.
But you don't really see them a lot until they start
About,
fighting.
about 6 people or so, right?
Nah, it was more than that. It was actually more than that.
Okay.
And that's one thing. That's one of my little. That's like a film gripe though for me, is because they make it seem like it's just the characters who have talking points that are there fighting at the end. There
But
are
we
more
did see
people.
more people, yeah.
There are more people, and you barely because the second time I saw it, I was like, where were the other people there? Because I know when the fight happened, it was like more people. I was
Yeah,
like,
they
what the
came out
heck?
of nowhere.
But then when I watched it the second time, I see them in the background. They're out of focus, but
Yeah.
they're there.
Yeah,
and
they're
preparing
there.
too as well. But the camera's not really
Well,
focused
well,
on
my
them.
point is, it's about 6 people that we care about. They all died, bro. All of, except for one. All died. I don't like movies like that. I'm okay with not liking movies
Nah,
where
I
everybody
can see you
died.
on that point.
That's
I don't
That's
know.
me.
I don't really
Like I
like
said,
that
I
either.
feel like dying in this film is not. It makes sense because it cheapens the stakes if everybody just lives.
I have a
cool.
question.
That's
cool.
like it's
Right.
just like it's a waste.
It's
It's like being Superman. That's why Superman is such one of the most
But here's-
hardest characters to write for because he's so
OP,
invincible.
I
he
get
just he just wins all the time.
I get it,
It's
but
like
let me
that's boring.
Let me pose this to you.
Hold on.
Let me pose this to you. Then you guys all the questions
Yeah.
you want. You spend a whole night fighting vampires, and you win. To lose to a bullet?
No, I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie. 'cause
hell
I
no.
feel like
Come on,
Hold on,
man.
It's
wait,
for all
These
those who
things
have seen.
can't
It's
even
not even
die
that
to a
simple.
bullet, my dude. Like they was shooting these things, they was running like nothing happened. So you
'Cause
mean
they're
to
already
tell
dead.
exactly?
Yeah.
You beat the undead but died to the living? That bothered me, yo.
Okay.
How?
Because I wanted him to win.
It's the
And
reality.
I love Smoke
He
and
won.
Stack,
I
and
believe he
both
won.
of them died.
I believe he won. I believe he won because this is the thing.
Because he held his dead baby.
I believe he won because he got what he wanted at the end of the
Let me tell
day.
you who's winning.
Because yeah, he could have easily just left. Listen, you gotta think about this. Think about this. He could have easily just left, survived the KKK, take all his money that he invested into that place and everything. But he said it's a callback to the first part of the movie where he said, "If y'all step on this land, I'm shooting and I'm gonna kill you."
And he did his thing.
And he did exactly that, right?
Exactly. And he died in the process.
Of course, he did. But this is the thing. He could have easily just left, but it's the principle of everything, right? Him and his brother got in bad with people in Chicago, stole from people to come back home to make something of their own, right? They finally do it. It even calls back in the other part of the film, like, or the end part, the end credits, where he talks about, you know, before everything happened, that was like the greatest night I ever had in my life, right?
Mhm.
They finally felt free in the sense that there's something that we own, we're having a good time, and the thing that we bought, you know, and, you know, doing the things that we love, dancing, having a good time, whatever, right? So now you get back to the reality of these KKK dudes have been plotting on us the whole time. They're here again to take away our freedom again. And he's like, I'm not going for that. Plus, because of everything that happened here, and because guess what? The vampires got to the people first, but the KKK members was coming to kill them anyway.
I
right?
know.
So he's like, no.
And the vampire didn't tell him they would not have known.
Exactly.
I get it. I
So
understand.
this is the thing. It was the principle of, nah, I'm not going for that. I'm staying here. I'm going hard, and I'm killing everybody.
I'm cool with
and
you standing
guess what?
on business.
I knew as soon as he went 1v20, I was like, oh, he about to die. But I'm cool with that because guess what? It already set up the part of the movie where he was like, you know, what about our baby? And of course to her, and then he having to kill her because she didn't want, you know, she promised like, hey, I don't want to change because you know, take me out beforehand. Like he felt
that.
like, and then plus he got to think he
Wait,
think at
hold
that
on.
time he
You gotta
think his
pause.
brother gone.
I
Hold
gotta
on,
make sure I'm hearing
His
this
brother
right.
is
his
gone.
brother gone.
His brother,
His brother,
his brother is gone.
His brother's gone.
Yeah.
His wife is gone. His baby gone. Everybody gone. And
Time for
then,
him to live on and start anew.
exactly. And then two. Guess what about this? These people are willing to do this and sell them, take this money to this land. And then who's to say they're not going to be just like the vampires that the Asian girl was worried about them going back into the city and killing folks These KKK members was already plotting. So he's saving everybody.
I love the fact he killed the KKK.
Listen, he killed.
I hate the fact he died.
He said, "I'm here to take out all these dudes." Like, I don't want him to be Equalizer. I don't want him to be Denzel.
I do. Thank you.
But that's not this movie.
I want him to be Django. I want him to blow up the house and walk out of that bad boy.
That ain't it. He
Unchained.
still got the W.
That's what I want.
He still got the W, and the fact that he risked his life to do it, and it's more realistic. Like, come on, let.
You can't be realistic in a vampire movie.
Listen, I'm talking about
All realistic was out the window.
I'm talking about the stakes, right? The stakes is he barely survived this.
I get it, bro. I'm not gonna like it.
I've had a question.
I'm not gonna like the
I
fact
don't
he
know.
died. I'm not gonna like it.
I've had questions
To me,
for a minute.
that makes the movie like if the movie ended the way you did, I wouldn't like it.
Would have been fire.
I wouldn't like it.
My question
Black
to
man
y'all,
kill a bunch of KKK members
Wait,
and walk home.
No, I'm just.
I would have
wait.
loved that.
if y'all don't
sorry.
let me ask this question, this audio's
Go
gonna
ahead.
get real
Go
terrible.
ahead.
Okay,
I
go
promise
ahead.
you.
It already is bad. Don't worry. I'm already yelling.
No, I was gonna make it. Trust me. Anyways, with the person that y'all are talking about dying,
Put the cookies
is
in the
his
oven.
does his death bring a resolution? Like, does good win?
Yes.
Wait, that's my next part.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead. No, that's not my last part. That's actually my last part. I know I gotta put the cookies in the oven. Okay.
So yes, good wins in the sense that
Good
The-
don't win
the
in this
cake-
movie, but we're gonna talk about that in the end. That's gonna be the last thing we
what
talk
you
about.
talking about? Just as far as
Good
them,
don't win in this
as far as them
movie.
surviving.
Good does not win
So he-
in this movie.
So he
I-
dies.
explain
he
to me
dies
how.
and it's
but we're
ultimately
gonna talk
not-
about that. At the
So
end.
he died for no reason.
He died.
What?
He absolutely did die. For
He
no
died
reason.
for no reason.
Yeah. His cousin was already gone. He didn't have to die. He could have killed all the KKK and been just
What?
fine. He could have killed all the Klan members and been just fine.
Okay.
His cousin was already in the car.
So he caught a bullet and died, right?
Yeah, for no reason.
For no reason. He's shooting at 20 dudes. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
And they see
he
him
coulda
coming.
Lived. Yes. Yeah, I never seen
That
Rambo.
makes sense.
Like, I don't get what's going on.
He's
here.
a human. He's a human being.
All right, but
People die to bullets.
all right, now to the next part.
I'm confused.
What attracted the vampires to the place? No,
Well,
what
in the
did they
movie,
say?
in the movie, it says his music playing or him playing
His
music.
His
Yeah.
music attract.
But okay, let me rewind. So yes, it attracted the vampire to them because the vampire, he was a music lover. So like, it made him feel connected to the people who passed on, right?
Yeah,
Because it's talking about how music can transcend time.
yeah. Which was
and
a dope
everything.
scene when they showed from Africa to hip hop.
Yes, absolutely.
Fire. That's
Best
what
scene
I'm
in the
saying.
movie.
I have gripes about the movie. That don't mean everything in the movie was trash, right? Because I don't know why people was attacking us. Like, I can see why you like it. That don't mean I gotta like it. So, anyways, this is another gripe I have. Music is what attracted the vampires, and this man spent his whole life playing vampire attracting music. I would have never played after that night another song as long as I was like, wait. Oh, he gonna keep playing? And everybody was like, yeah, it's about the freedom and blah, blah.
That don't sound like
Bro,
freedom.
you told me, matter of fact, so
Y'all
much
movie
so,
views, bro.
so much so, the vampire was like, hey, just give us the boy. We'll let y'all go. Just give us the boy. That's how much they was attracted to his music. So we kill all the vampires tonight. What about tomorrow night?
That was false,
How do
though.
I-
They
how
were
do
gonna
I-
kill everybody regardless if they
I
gave
get
them a
that, but they was attracted to his music.
Yeah, that's
He
what he
came for.
He came for him, but if they would have gave up Sam, they wouldn't be like, all right, we out.
I
we
know, I
good.
get
They
that,
would've
but
killed all of
this is
them.
what I'm saying, Junior. Think about this, Junior. Let's say you play, and I'm gonna tell you why I had a problem with it afterwards. But let's say you play the guitar, right? And vampires come for you when you play the guitar. You kill all the vampires, no problem. But I don't know if there's more vampires in the world. Are you ever playing the guitar ever again? Heck no.
So wait, he is aware that the specific reason they came
He's
is
aware
because him
they
playing the
came
music.
for his music. He killed the vampires and spent the rest of his life playing that music. That bothered me. I would have been like, oh, I can't do this no more.
So he
Exactly.
Then there should have been more vampire attacks. Every time he picked up the darn guitar, they should have been. But so everybody was like, I'm like, so he, to me, he learned nothing.
But
He learned nothing.
Hold on.
But here's what would have made it better to me. This is to me.
Okay.
Here's what would have made it better to me. Because they were saying they were attracted to his music. Had he had done like, you know how they do the movies like, oh, Sold My Soul, that would have gave them a better reason to come for him. And then he kills them, and now there's nobody to collect the soul, so now I can keep playing. You get what I'm saying? Like, for me, that's what worked better for me.
That would have been lame.
No, what? It's already loosely based off, you know, the guitar player. What's his name from Mississippi that they say so like.
Yeah.
But so that element would have made it better for me because you mean to tell me I'm coming for you because of your music,
Hold on.
and you keep playing the music?
I'm surprised how
That makes
blind.
no
I'm
sense to me.
surprised how blind you are to the parallels and to the symbolism on why this makes sense.
See, that's the
I'm
key part. They say
surprised.
we don't see the parallels. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so
Hold on, wait.
Evil-
Just
I'll let you make the point.
no, because I'm not making a point. I'm just making sure I'm understanding.
Go ahead.
Both sides.
I understand both sides,
Go ahead.
buddy.
Is what he's saying? I'm not saying it goes with the movie. Is it logical? Does it make sense? I know I do this bad thing when I know I do this thing when this thing is done. This bad thing comes.
So
I keep doing the thing.
the point that Leonard is making is logical.
Okay,
And
that's all I was
and
asking.
I would agree with that point if I knew that was exactly going to happen. But how it is portrayed in the movie, that's not how it's portrayed in the movie. That's how. That's what he grasped.
That's
from
what
it.
I saw.
That's what he grasped
We
from it.
come
which
for
is-
your music.
Which he can understand that. But the thing is, it was a parallel to how music and the value of, like, or how music is tainted by evil type energy. Like people always talk
Taken
about
over by
how
it.
the music
'Cause
industry
he's
is
gonna take
so
over.
demonic and everything like that, right?
I get
Okay.
that.
So Sam, who learned how to sing or whatever, it was in church with his father, right? His father's a pastor. And a lot of people that are saying like, oh, they made Christians look weak in this movie. I'm just like, they do not at all. They just Christians.
Super weak.
They don't.
But I'll
Because guess
get
what?
to that later.
Who-
Camera's right
we'll
there,
get to
by
that
the way.
Who
afterwards.
was?
You
Who?
wanna
Okay.
look at it.
We won't get
So
there.
we'll get to that afterwards.
Exactly.
Super weak.
They don't. They don't.
But
Anyway,
my issue ain't even that
The
though.
TV is not the camera.
Okay, I got you.
because
Yeah, I see
because
cameras right there.
because the church in relativity to the movie is not. There's points there, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll
Anyway,
get into that.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. The value of him continuing to play music is because one, it's what he loved to do.
He made his own choice.
Two, he
I
made his
get it.
choice. Like I wanted to go in. So he's not worried about vampires being summoned because to his understanding, the vampire that was looking for him is dead and gone, and it's nowhere to be. We ain't got to worry about that anymore. And two, the movie talks about how it's not just Sam. He's not the only vampire conjuring Negro out here. Like everybody, the whole purpose of that scene that everybody loves is saying that music transcends. So just as much as Sam is a singer, there's all these other gifted singers who evil would like to attract and get their voice and get there and basically take it for their own purposes and reasons.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of
I get it.
his whole adjacent relationship to the vampires in any sense. That's literally it.
I get it.
So
So this movie is a call out to the music industry saying y'all messed up.
to some degree in that part, but it's way more than that. It's way
Yeah.
more than that. That's just one part of it. But yeah, so I don't have any issue with that, with him continuing to play. I don't have any issue
You
with
don't
that
have to have
either.
an issue with it. I had an issue.
You
with
had
it.
you had an issue with it. I don't see how that. I don't see
and
where
let me
that's
tell you how.
founded
Let me
in.
tell you how it played out.
Because
too.
okay, let's
wait.
say. Hold on, wait.
He was talking, bro.
Let's say there's something that you love to do, like speak. You know,
Let's say
What-
I
whatever.
promise if I give a speech and a vampire shows up, I'll
Listen,
and
never give another
everybody
one.
died that night. Let's not forget that point.
That's why I asked if what he said was logical because I'm not gonna lie.
Bro.
If I know that it came because of the I gave a good speech, like you did good on that stage.
but they didn't come
I'm
for that
not-
reason.
I'm
They
not-
didn't
I'm
only
not
come for that
definitely
reason.
Bro, but let me
That attracted
let
the-
me set this. And I'm not even gonna talk about the church stuff until the very end
Go
because
ahead.
my complaints about the movie aren't the church stuff. But you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to talk about it until we're done with the movie.
Yeah.
So, but this is how it happened, bro. He's a guitar player, blah blah blah. He leaves his daddy church, I'm gonna do my own thing, whatever. He goes, he's playing the guitar, and he's doing fantastic. By the way, he bringing down the house. The music in this movie is fire. Okay, vampires come. First of all, I don't care what they was attracted to. I don't care if they was attracted to a blue shirt. All right, if they mention this is what they was attracted to, I'm never touching it again. Anyways, he goes. They kill all the vampires. Everybody dies except for one of his cousins who dies the next morning. So whatever. He goes back to the church with the guitar in his hand, and his dad's like, let it go, son, let it go. He chooses not to let it go. Now, everybody's like, oh, that's him making his own choice. I'm fine with that. He want to make his own choice? Cool. It fast forwards to 1992, and he's still playing music. Yeah. And I'm like,
he lived all the way up until then.
He learned absolutely nothing. That's how I felt when I watched
it.
If
logically, if that works out, then he should have been dead way before 1992.
He should have died.
So how does that make sense?
You're right.
So,
but you know why? But you know why he didn't die? Because he had protection.
After I get away with it,
because he had protection.
After I get away with the first time,
by vampires.
After I get away with the first time, I'm gonna keep playing. And guess what? Ain't nothing happening. I'm living until 70, whatever. How old he living?
He was being protected by vampires.
Nobody got
he had vampire protection.
And nobody touched him. And nobody touched him that whole time.
But why would you even find out? Why would you play again? That's what I'm saying, bro.
Why would you play again? Because he loved playing.
Play again. I would never. Bro, I don't care. I don't care if it was.
He's not gonna let them win.
I don't care if
he's not gonna let them win.
He's
not gonna let them win. I'm still playing. I'm still playing. Guess what? I'm still playing.
All right.
Everybody dead.
True story. If let's say playing 2K summoned vampires, and everybody in your house died that night, but you survived, you killed all the vampires, are you ever playing 2K again?
If 2K provides me a living for the rest of my life, I'm able to do and love what I do. Listen, hold on, wait. He's making it way too simple. He's making it way too simple because 2K is a trivial thing. It's trivial. I'm not making money from 2K. It's a video game. I'm gonna stop playing 2K because my wife wants me to go to bed. Like that don't make any sense. It's about music and his literal livelihood. He literally lives off.
I would have literally been on that plantation right next to Cornbread's
wife. He lives
wife.
off of playing his music. He lives off of playing his music, and he travels out of town to do so. Right. So maybe the first smart thing that he did was leave because that's where supposedly the vampires are, the KKK people that's after him. He left and went to Chicago and played.
Well, who knows? Them vampires could have been anywhere.
Okay, whatever.
You saw he was on the Irish
vampires flying spirit and going straight to him.
Exactly. They from everywhere. They made it from Ireland to America. They can go to Chicago.
Well, they already implied that he was living there for a long, long time, right? So after seeing that he was there for a long, long time or whatever, and they killed him, and then everything was good, then he goes back to play.
All right.
That's it.
All right. That's fine.
It's very simple. It's
That's
not
fine.
even. It's not. He's not thinking about being summoned because guess what? He's been playing, and it's implied in the movie he's been playing way before this. So he's gonna play after.
That's fine. That's fine. That's him. Mm-hmm. And that's why his cousins died.
So when you in the church,
I would have never. I would have been in the church.
Listen.
Oh, I would have been in the church.
Listen, when you in the church, no, absolutely.
I would. There is no.
I agree. Listen.
No, I would not be playing nothing in the church. No, what's that denomination that don't do live music? We would have been one of them for sure. Church of Christ? No. Oh, yeah, they would have been on to something.
Listen,
show there would have been no music in my life.
You be in church preaching the word. Demons start getting upset, start getting ruffled up. They start conjuring up. You got to cast them boys out, right? Absolutely, you do.
But we know how to beat demons 100% of the time.
Exactly. And
he don't know how to beat the vampires.
Yes, he
do.
He
don't.
He cracked him across the head.
He Blade. Get out of here.
He cracked him across the head.
He got lucky.
And he got lucky
because the way he tried to beat the vampire,
he found out
it didn't work. That vampire starts quoting scripture right back to him like it was nothing. Like this don't do nothing to me, boy.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Wait. He tried to beat the vampire with the
but I don't want to talk about scripture though. We'll talk about scripture at the end. Okay. But my point is
try to beat him with it.
But my point is you can't equate that.
They only seen the movie once. They need to see it again so they can understand.
You can't equate that. You can't equate that to demons.
You can't understand the movie on the first go.
He was watching it for entertainment.
That proves my point.
When you watch a movie a second time, you always get more than what you get the first time.
And we consider watching it twice, right?
But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. I'm arguing.
That proves my point.
I'm arguing because it's fun to argue.
Bro. You gotta watch it twice.
Y'all don't gotta like it. I'm arguing because it's fun to argue. Y'all don't gotta like it. But at the same time, a lot of y'all points about this, a lot of y'all points about this stuff, it really ain't.
They're
hit for me.
personal.
I thought it was gonna hit more. I thought it was gonna be like, you know what? Let me think about this.
Those are personal.
But
These are personal reasons, and I love my own personal reasons.
I get you.
I hate a movie
I
where
just don't feel
everybody
like
died.
I just don't feel like your personal reasons are enough to give it the rating that you give it.
Exactly. Like you can
You
feel
can
the
have
way
that,
you feel, but you
But
gotta
you gotta
lose
give
your
it
black
at
card
least
for
like
it,
a
though.
7.
But you gotta
I
lose
gave
your
it a
black card.
6.5.
No, you got
Yeah,
gotta
I
lose
feel
your
like
black card.
That's all it's gonna
I'll
get
be
out of me.
justified with
That's
a
all it's gonna get out of me.
a C.
You got to lose your black card.
All right. Here's the other thing. Here's the
I
other
feel
thing
you,
I want
Bob.
to talk about
I
too,
ain't
though,
see it, so yeah.
All right, cool.
because one.
And we
one
gotta get to
concept-
Gina, 'cause I gotta
like
hear
this
Gina.
concept. I like this concept. Gina didn't like this concept. I like the concept of them having a hive mind.
Mhm.
I thought that was cool, but we
Yeah.
use everybody else's memories and everything. I thought that was dope. My issue with the vampires was when we saw them in the after credit scene, they looked like they was having a they was having a great life. They looked like they was living so good. Why didn't we join them? Because the way
They
he was
literally
saying
explained it though.
the way he was saying it, the way he was saying it, he was like join me basically. But he was like, but we kill you. I'm like, okay, are you killing me or am I joining you? Like, which one is it, right? And then they made it seem like you didn't have a choice that night. That night, nobody had a choice. But in that after credit scene, they gave him a choice. They was like, hey, do you want to join? Do you want to die?
After the dude, because the main dude died, he had more
Pull.
basically because, and it explains that in the movie. Like he's the alpha in some sense. I
Yeah.
forgot how they explain it.
So after he
But-
died, we should have all just became then, because it was great. They was living it up. They was still young and beautiful. They was having a great life. They was making you feel like that I should have been a vampire.
Well, he did mention how he's like, I ain't been able to see the sun, and that was the last time I saw my brother. So
That's
he would
because you didn't
trade
kill.
it.
He should have killed his
He
brother.
would trade it, but at the same time, he didn't choose this life. This life chose him. He got chomped up, both him and her. So what you want them to do? After that point, it's not like because nobody willingly said, okay, we're gonna join you. Nobody in the whole movie did that.
Nobody.
So the only time he said the join is because he realized Sam was at the
Getting
end of
old.
his life.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you can still stick around and be with me because this is the last person that he knows from his prior life before becoming a vampire.
I get that.
So of course he has some type of longing to still
I
want to
get
be
that.
around him
I still
and be
was-
with him.
I still was
So he's
annoyed.
like, hey, if you want to stay,
I still was
you can
annoyed
join us and be and be
because
with us
I
here.
remember that night, and then I saw them in '92, and it was completely different.
What you mean?
That night, nobody had an option. In '92, I'm giving you a gift, bro. You ain't gotta die. I get
Exactly.
that. I get that.
And that's why he
And here's-
lived.
Okay, nobody is hearing me here. In 1930, nobody had an option at all, as if it was non-optionable.
What you mean?
Exactly. Exact. Why was he so strong?
Because he's the head guy. What are you talking about?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
There's
It
a
makes
hierarchy. There's a
so
vampire
check this
hierarchy.
out.
Yes.
In 32
They explain it
in
the movie,
attack
too.
they explain it in Istanbul. That
It's
night,
not. It's very simple.
that night, nobody has an option. They said very clear, we're gonna kill everybody in here. And guess what? They did it. And they did it very efficiently. You hear me? They was nice with it. They was undead, okay? And then you see them 50-some years later, cool, calm, collected.
Because they're not under the control of the
Chilling.
main guy anymore.
When they first became vampires, they should have killed him. That should have been mission number 1.
They
Yeah.
Okay.
couldn't. Okay.
But as soon as they killed him, once he was dead, I would have talked to my cousin like, cuz, my bad, I'm sorry about this, man. But no, they disappeared, bro, and then show up.
They disappeared
7
because
years
they
later.
can't get around. First of all, this is what's implied at the end of the movie. I'll give you this context, Moss. It'll probably answer some
give them
questions.
context.
So, at the end of the movie, the twin brothers are fighting each other. Mind you, both the people he's talking about that survived at the end, they didn't choose to join the vampires. They got killed. They got bitten by a vampire and had interned
Mm-hmm.
because it was unbeknownst to them in both cases.
Mm-hmm.
For the twin brother, the girl gets bitten first because she tries to go make peace with him, try to see if, hey, is it worth them coming into the club to make money off of them because they got money, right? They take her. She turns. She gets invited in by the guy at the front door because he knows her and he trusts her or whatever. She gets in there, gets in with the twin brother who she has a love interest in with, bites him. They both turn, right? That's what happens. So when he yeah, but she was at this time the head guy is in charge still. His mentality is we killing everybody in here, right? Everybody. That is the overarching. He's the hierarchy, right? What his mindset and what he wants to do goes, okay? So with anybody who turns, no matter who, right? And they're still all themselves, and they explain in the movie they're all themselves in the sense that they have their personality, their memories, and everything, but they're not under control, right? They still have their personality, they still have the knowledge and everything. They're all a hive mind, okay? Right. So, Smoke and Stack, twin brothers fighting. One's dead, vampire, one's not. At the end of the movie, you see him pin him to the ground and basically he says he loves him, like he's about to smack him. But what I think happens, it doesn't really say this in the movie, but it makes 100% sense. Somebody made the point. He lets the brother go because he loves his brother. The main, he lets the brother go, runs out, kills the main vampire dude, right? Breaks the spell. His younger brother, whenever they come back to open up the doors are locked to the place. Why would they need to be locked? Because the brother's in there. The brother's in there.
I watched all the little videos that explained it.
Brother's in there.
Everybody thought we just didn't understand the movie.
No.
We didn't like it.
I'm not even making that point.
The movie.
I'm explaining this to Miles.
I just don't like it.
I'm explaining this to Miles. I'm explaining this to Miles right now. So he's protecting him as well as killing them that's coming on his property, right? Okay. Because the brother can't come out in the sunlight because he'll die. Anyway, after that happens, of course, they're the last two vampires that are alive. But it doesn't. Whenever the other ones that were there, that were in the hive mind, they got killed when the main guy got killed, and then the sun was coming up. They all die. He's in there protected. The other girl runs off.
We don't know for certain.
They're all dead. You see their burned, scorched bodies on the ground. They're dead. Everybody dead.
We saw the main guy running with the sun coming up. So how we know one of them wasn't running too?
The main guy running.
And earlier in the movie, when the sun was up, he took off running. Remember that? That's the first time
burning,
we saw him.
But I think
so. How we know one of them didn't do it too?
I think it took more for him to die. It makes sense because even when
now we're implying something ain't in the film. It take more for him to die.
It does.
That's not in the script nowhere, and that's why I have the problem with
it.
The movie.
Does. Nobody's nitpicking the movie to that degree to have a problem with it.
I did.
That don't make any sense.
I did.
Anyways, obviously, when you have a hierarchy or something that's stronger than the other things, they're harder to take care of, to kill.
He's the final boss.
He got stabbed with the stake and ended up dying. Right? But yeah, and he was burning to the sun still. Probably just takes him longer to burn and die. But at the same time, they were connected to him because they were in his proximity.
They felt his pain.
And they felt his pain. So they all died the same way. So not only just the sun burned them up and finished them off, they were already pretty much dying from the same impaling death.
That's crazy.
So anyways, yes, makes sense that they survived. They weren't going to just turn on them. Obviously, you even made the point about the hive mind, but he's the head of the hive mind. He makes all the final decisions. He just has the knowledge of everybody in there. So there's nothing confusing.
So why didn't they
that.
come to him a week later? Hey, cuz, what's going on? We looking out for you. We protecting you. We got your back.
Why would they? Don't touch him.
I know, but didn't they say like they've been watching him or something like that?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
No,
they watching.
They said they've been following him,
Something like that.
following his records, his music.
Records, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
So it's like it's nothing like the live.
I would have
thing,
been
the real
like,
thing.
yo, cuz, how's it going? Just to let you know, we're doing okay. You know, crazy night, right? Want to talk about it? That's hot wings. Nothing. Like they never came back until he was almost dead.
So
an old man is when they came back.
And they sensed, and I think the reason why they came back because they sensed, because he even says it, he sensed that he was getting ready to die.
But
no, hold on, wait.
If I turned into a vampire, bro,
so then he comes
free,
he comes and gives
I would
the option.
come to you and let you know, like, bro, I made it out.
But then
I would let you know. Wouldn't you want to know?
Listen.
Wouldn't you want to know?
But
Wouldn't that make your heart feel better?
How much of a risk could that be in the sense that you don't know what Sammy's mentality is. Like he might want to just like, look, I'm taking y'all out. The last time
My
he
arm
seen
is
y'all,
tweaking.
y'all was trying to kill me.
Sammy weak.
The last time he killed you, he came. Y'all was trying to kill me. So why do you think that would just be so readily?
I would have wrote him a letter, put it in the post office, or something.
Nah,
I
it
got
makes
a
sense.
question. I got a question.
Mhm.
So, originally, there's a guy that's over all the vampires. And
Yeah.
He forces everybody to think and feel a certain way. He dies, and the living vampires then get to become their own vampire selves, I guess.
From what it looks
Yeah.
like, yeah, they get to choose,
So
make their own
when
choices.
it's all said and done, it is better to be a vampire.
If you can kill the hive mind, sure.
No, but like, because the hive mind is done though. Like the hive mind is killed off.
Yeah, but the whole point of the movie is like Sammy making his own choices. So he chose like, I'm choosing not to go the easy route and live forever, whatever. Like I'm choosing music and I'm choosing.
I just want to make
and
sure
all
I'm
that stuff.
understanding this because
No, I feel it your way too, cause bro, when
because
I say
if it is better to
is,
be a
when I
vampire,
say
why would
it's
you not
50
do that?
years
No.
later, they walk in looking good, bro.
Y'all
They
crazy.
walked in looking just
No,
fine.
I literally don't.
You guys would be okay with selling your soul to the devil.
No,
Exactly.
but so if I'm,
They
It
turned
looks
into
good.
Twilight. They
No,
turned
let
into
her- let her-
Twilight, bro.
Let her make the
Go
point.
for it. Go for it.
It look good.
Uh-huh.
Right? But let's say the vampire, they can't go out the only time they can go out is at night.
Nightlife.
That's it.
Turn up.
You don't get to see the sunrise or anything. Is
Mhm.
that really a good life?
I mean,
There's no
So-
death.
yeah. So
Why would you want to be here for all them years?
Exactly.
Like
My-
they literally
He had his lady. Me and my lady. The two of us.
all right.
Have you ever seen Twilight? Like they enjoyed being vampires.
Did they really?
Yes, they did. They had a great life.
Well, who cares? We're not talking about Twilight.
yeah. My
Twilight-
only question is because you mentioned it's like selling your soul to the devil. But
There's no devil in this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It seems from what it sounds like, the person who was like the devil character is gone and it don't exist. So the only so it's not like selling your soul to the devil at that point.
No, she's making the point.
Of it was better to be a vampire. That's the whole point. I'm saying somebody could be like, oh well, I get all these good things when I sell my soul to the devil. So why not do it because I'm getting all these things?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like for example, if selling my soul to the devil didn't mean I was anti-God, why would I not sell my soul to the devil?
Are you okay?
That's weird.
No, listen.
So weird.
No, what I'm saying is so
I
there's,
understand exactly what you're saying.
if I can
Sell
still go
your
to heaven,
soul if everything gonna be okay.
Yeah, if-
sell it
if-
and get something.
I'm gonna still go to heaven.
But
Nothing bad's gonna happen to me.
that's not what's gonna happen.
And that's what I'm asking.
That's what we're
though.
asking.
That's-
What was bad for them?
Yeah,
Oh, they
that-
can't go out in the daylight.
'Cause
That's
that's
what's
not-
bad, and they can't eat garlic on their pizza. That's the only thing bad for them, bro. They was looking good. They was living a
No.
good life.
No.
Yeah. So
They
that
just
was that
they
was
just
my
had to live
question,
at
like,
nighttime.
What are the cons?
What's the cons?
because
What's the cons?
you can't
So-
go out in the sunshine.
Thank you very much,
'cause it's
sir.
dark right now anyway.
This is
What's
the
the
greatest
cons?
stretch I've ever heard about a.
Okay,
I
but just
don't
answer,
know.
Such a stretch.
answer the question.
I don't
What's
have
the
it.
cons
I
of
don't
becoming
know.
a vampire?
Know all the cons. We can only go off of what like that small information. but
Exactly.
Still, you lived that entire time. Okay,
You-
let's just say Twilight, right?
Twilight, yeah.
Whenever they came, who was fighting them, and the old one just opened his arms and was like, like I'm finally get to die. Like, who wants to live for centuries? Just seriously.
I mean,
who wants to
See
Sign me
all
up.
your loved ones
All
die off.
your loved ones die, war.
It's not all your loved ones. He got his lady.
No.
You are weird.
That's wild.
Like,
Can't
Uh-uh.
they-
I think y'all stretching it. It's so
It is a stretch.
I don't
because
I
this-
literally
because
don't
all
know,
of these points that you're making in regards to the full aspect of the film don't even really there's sub points to the overarching story that doesn't even correlate, doesn't even
That's
matter.
why I didn't say the movie
That
was
doesn't even
trash.
matter.
I
So
didn't
it's
say
like
it was trash. I
I'll give you
just had my
a
gripes.
point of what you're doing. I'll give you a point of what you're doing. So let's use a movie like what's a good movie to use? Let's use Avengers: Infinity War, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. So Thanos,
I personally believe that's one of the greatest films I ever seen.
great. That's even better to where we're using this as an example. So Thanos basically allowed his minions to go fetch the Infinity Stones for him, right?
Mhm.
Thanos with no stones whoops the strongest character in the whole series.
Got that right.
Why did he need to send anybody else to do it? Why? He could have just came and did it himself off rip.
And if you tell me
Listen.
you don't like lazy leaders,
Hold on.
that's your prerogative.
Exactly. Guess what? Me making that point has nothing to do with the overarching story, and it's a sub point. It's a nitpick that doesn't matter. We understand the reason why he's the overlord. He sends the people out to do it, and he's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself." He literally I think he has a line similar to that, to where he ends up going to do it himself anyway, right?
Yeah, I feel that.
So for somebody to complain about why is he sending his minions, he could just do it himself. What does that do to the difference of the actual story and how it progresses or how good it is, the fact that he sent his minions or not?
I know. That's why
So
I said these are
I feel like
problems.
it's okay that you're having a problem.
It isn't
Like
really,
for instance,
is it really?
the point that I made, hold on,
Not
it's
okay.
not.
You're losing
no,
your black
wait,
card.
listen. I made the point, and it makes sense, right? I made the point about Thanos sending his minions. He could have did it himself, right? It makes complete sense. What you're saying, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying it doesn't matter to the overarching story. It don't matter.
Let me tell
To
you.
the overarching story,
I feel it.
it's irrelevant.
But like I said, like when I say I hate,
So I can
I hate
literally
movies where
watch a
everybody
10 out
dies.
of 10 film and I can find things to nitpick about
that's fine.
that are just like, why is this
but-
happening?
but
Why is this
let
happening?
me
I'm
just
like,
say-
that's kind of weird though.
Let me tell you, like when I saw, because I hate movies where everyone, I don't like it when everyone dies or whatever. When I saw, what's it, Infinity War, and he snapped his fingers at the end of the movie, and that was the end of the movie. When I say I was pissed off, I
mad
was so
walking out the
mad. I was like, y'all just gonna let the bad guy win?
And I was laughing at him.
Like
was funny
that's
to
me.
me.
And that's how I feel about movies. I'm not gonna not feel that way about
But
a
the
movie
bad
because
guy doesn't win.
because it's a black person movie now. I'm still gonna feel that way when all the
Were
people
you more
die,
mad that they died or the fact that the bad guy won?
that they died. I'm glad they came back. Because if they all died,
We know that wasn't gonna happen though.
but I know, but what I'm saying, I don't like movies where they die. So in this movie,
Well, you don't like the movie.
I don't. I'm sorry. If we was watching Home Alone and Kevin McAllister died, I'd have a problem with it, okay?
Well, that doesn't make sense.
I like when people live. If we was watching Saving Private Ryan and the only person who went home was Private Ryan, I'd have a problem with it. That's just me. And I'm okay with that.
I
But the
think that's
internet
probably the best
is
example.
not okay with me saying that.
No,
When I
first
was
of
in
all-
there and old girl, the hoodoo lady died, I was like, come on, bro. And that's when I knew nobody was getting out of there. That hurt my feelings, bro, because she
Man.
was,
It's
when
supposed.
she didn't make it,
So the movie,
she the only person who had the answers.
the movie did what it was supposed to do to make you not want people to die. But the thing is, I promise you, it cheapens the whole movie when the stakes are unrealistic. Like the stakes are supposedly there, but they don't really happen. Like
Amen.
nobody actually is gonna die. We'll just give you this big bad Thanos. He's gonna snap, and nobody actually dies. Somebody, like the reason that made the second movie as good as it was after Infinity War is the fact that everybody died. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. People, when the stakes are high and bad things happen, when the final payoff comes or the overarching story comes together, it makes it more. It just makes it more. I don't know. It makes it more valuable. It doesn't cheapen the movie.
I'm not.
I hate movies where everybody just like all these crazy
didn't
stakes
have to
happen
everybody
and everybody
survive.
just lives.
I just
Nobody
wanted-
ever gets hurt.
I
Nobody
just
ever gets
wanted
whooped.
Somebody other than
Like
Sam
Goku
to
just
survive.
always wins. He just always beats the guy. Like, okay, great, he won again. Like, this is so
Like,
boring.
You know how sad that is? Everybody died that night, bro.
Not
Like, you
everybody
can't even
died.
talk about it with your cousin. Like, man, we made it. Because he died the next day.
Yeah, he died. He went
To
out
the
hard,
Klan?
and he went out hard. I don't care what he talk about.
Oh, okay.
If you watch that movie, and everybody watching this, the 5 people that's gonna maybe watch it. If you watch this or listen, if you watch this movie, you tell me he didn't go out hard. I don't know what's wrong. Something is wrong with you.
He died like a G.
He went out hard.
What's
as
that
heck.
movie? What's that movie, Set It Off? When Queen Latifah died, I was not in there cheering. I was not like, whoa, you got her. Yay. I was like, dang. She
Why couldn't-
died. And I don't like it. And I'm not going to like it. So
That's
that's
cool.
how I am.
I'm
That's-
disappointed.
I'm okay with that.
I just want to say that means you're okay with losing your black card because I almost lost mine and I didn't even see the
Bro,
movie.
people be like, man, if
Yeah,
you didn't
now-
love
now, of
this
course,
movie,
Because I didn't see the movie, I almost lost
I
my
sat
black
there.
card.
I gave the movie if y'all rewind the tape, I gave the movie credit for its acting, for its directing, for its ability to combine like multiple movie genres into one genre. I gave the movie its praise on just an overall level as theater. But when you ask me, okay, Leonard, what did you personally feel about it? Oh, well, personally, no, I don't like that kind of stuff. Not my genre.
Yeah.
I said off rip, I saw a vampire. It lost 5 points for me.
I'll
Off rip.
I'll say that. Well,
Okay,
I
cool.
don't watch horror movies, so when it's listed as a horror movie, and that's the first reason I said,
Yeah,
It's not
maybe I
like
won't
it's
go
not
see
a
it.
scary horror.
I'm not saying it is
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, I'm just giving you perspective. I'm giving you
I'm
perspective.
saying, yeah, that sounds weird. All I'm saying is it's listed
thank
as a
you, man.
horror movie, and I don't watch horror movies, so I wasn't planning to go see
All right,
it.
now
No,
let's
that's
talk about the
cool.
Christian element of it.
But wait,
That's
wait,
cool.
before we get to the Christian element,
Because
Before
wait, okay, before we do that,
I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Did I not did
Yeah, let's
oh yeah,
get
yeah,
Gina.
let's get it. But did I not explain my ways without being like, oh, and the Bible, blah blah blah?
Yeah, no.
Okay, because a lot of people's like, oh, it's the Christians, but like, no, like my
We'll get
gripes
to-
with the movie had nothing to do with that. But come
we'll
on,
get to that
Gina, you
in
wanna
just
talk
a
about-
second.
you wanna
And,
talk
and
about
right before Gina goes, I'll say this. I'm not gonna lie. It still sounds like it would have been better at the end for him to say, "Yeah, turn me into a vampire." I just based on what y'all said.
I'm telling you, he was at the end of his life.
You just gotta watch it for yourself.
He's
It's
been
I
the
mean,
fine.
and
whole
that might be
life,
true.
bro.
I'm just saying, just based from what I heard, it sounds
He was
like
old, bro. He was old.
it sounds like the people that made being a vampire a problem are gone. So
exactly
now
the
you
hive
just
mind
get-
leader. He's gone.
You just get all the benefits.
You just get a bit. You get
and
super
there are no
strength.
more-
You could jump
negatives.
super high. All right, and think about it. You already dying.
They didn't-
You know what I mean? It ain't like you.
I don't
in the
think they
prime
had
of your
super
life.
strength.
Well, he do jump. When he jumped high.
He was like kind of floating or flying in there, but he was the only one that you see do that. Nobody else in the film does that.
They got to train.
No, I mean that
They
doesn't
gotta
matter.
train.
Yeah, but
They got to practice.
I think he was a different.
vampire
One.
skills
He was a
up.
different breed.
And even the part of like you live so long, apparently they can still die. So if they are really that tired, of
Exactly.
living,
That's
can
what I'm
just-
saying. You could die when you choose.
yeah, you really make that choice yourself.
You know what I mean? You can go the next 100, 200 years and then be like, all right, I'm done. Where that wooden stake at? And be done. That's how I felt. At the end of the movie, he could have turned and kept playing his guitar.
She needs a microphone now.
Why don't you come sit next to me?
I'm not gonna give you all that energy. I already got all that energy out. I just want to hear your opinion.
Woohoo!
And if y'all start talking about the Christian stuff and y'all Christian critiques ain't Christian enough, I'm giving you that energy.
That's funny.
Okay, cool.
I can
Stay
enter
with
y'all
that.
into the Christian aspect, and then y'all can discuss it. But the reason why I did not like the movie or I gave it a 5.5
Goodness gracious.
is a lot of reasons. Number one, let me say I agree with all that Leonard said about the praises of the movie. The acting, A1.
Phenomenal.
Honestly,
gotta
I was
see it.
locked into the vampires came in. I was with the movie till they randomly dropped vampires.
You know
Can I
what?
talk, baby?
Dang. Say it again. I like. That's what I'm gonna
I
do.
appreciate
If y'all bring up scripture and then you quote the scripture wrong or the scripture like don't make sense, that's gonna be my kind of response. I like that. Go ahead.
But no, I was legit locked in until I just felt like the vampires wasn't needed. I feel like it just took away from the movie for me because I just didn't get it. I didn't understand, one, because they didn't give a backstory on who they were, what they were, how they even came to be. That's what my qualms with the movie is that I felt it was more so incomplete because it didn't give a lot of information. Stuff was just kind of thrown, like even like what you said about the Indians, like they were thrown in there. It was random. They were in there for 2 seconds. We never saw them again. We don't even know what was they for. None of that. The vampire showed up out the blue. Showed up in the desert out the blue at this household, at these white people house. They did show that it was KKK because when he opened the door, he saw. But one of the things that he was kind of trying to connect with them with, because he saw the KKK thing on the bed. So he was, as he was talking to them or whatever, he saw the uniform on the bed. So he was trying to connect with them in that way. But yeah, I would have rathered it just been what it was without the vampires. I would have rather it just been the twins and the KKK, and it would have been fire to me. I feel like
Sure.
the vampires
I mean,
was just
You know what?
unnecessary.
I would agree with you in the sense that the film had enough backstory and character building
It was so
and
good.
everything to where it didn't have to be. It didn't need to be a vampire film. And who's to say that if it wasn't, it could have been even better, possibly, right?
Yeah,
I
I would say that.
But I think adding that element, well, just in my opinion, right? And I'm more okay with this as a reason. I feel like her reasons behind it are a lot better than yours. But you don't even
Yeah.
have to say
Your
anything.
reasons
You don't
suck.
have, no. Let me finish my point. I don't care. No. Listen, she just didn't like the vampires.
Vampires. All my reasons were vampires. We say
Yeah. All right. Cool. Y'all are. Maybe I'm wrong.
saying the same
Okay, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. But anyway, sure. The vampire part I still think was still very much an addition to the film in the sense that it gives us the aspect of you can get out. It's hard to explain it. I had a really good explanation for this. I should have wrote it down, but like bringing that element into it, and then it kind of bridged the gap of the value of the music element of the film, as well as the whole like spirit connection of the film, and then two, the big bad being that it's kind of similar to another movie. I think it's called From Dusk Till Dawn or something like that. To where that aspect comes in at the end, and it's like, oh wow, this is crazy, right? Because everything's alluded to that the big bad is like the KKK or white folks and stuff like that. But then when it gives you this heel turn to say like, oh no, it's these vampires, and it's just like it gives you the element of one, blacks and whites and different cultures being together now with these vampires. But then again, what do you give up in order to be in unity as they're trying to get you in on, right? So that aspect is great. Even the aspect of them having to invite you in, the symbolism in that, like you have to be invited into this space in order for, them to come and kill you and everything like that. I think that element has a lot of parallels to inviting different things in your house or inviting things into your community or anything that seem like they have good motives, but they don't. And at the same time, it draws a parallel to the KKK members as being vampires in the daytime, which we can get into that another part. So you got enemies at night, enemies during the day. Like all the aspect ties in, and it kind of brings it to me in a fun way because the movie can get great as a character acting piece and everything, but it can become mundane when the big last piece is like, oh, here it goes again. We're fighting KKK guys, and it's just like, sure, another, white against black, divisive slavery type.
Refreshing for you.
Yeah, it's more refreshing in the sense that it's not giving me a cliche in the same way that most films like this would give it. I feel like it adds more to the movie than it does cheapen it. If it was just the KKK members at the end or whatever, then I would have been a little bit more bored from that. But of course, I would have still liked the movie. I would have still given it probably the same or close to the same rating. It just wouldn't hit as hard for me because they added both of those elements in. I still got the satisfaction of them killing the KKK members. And heck yeah, the satisfaction.
That's crazy.
And yeah, all that tied into it. So I feel like that was a great addition to the movie. And it gave it an action set piece. So,
Crazy.
More visuals and everything like that. I thought that was cool.
Okay. I liked your version of like enemy by day and by night. I didn't see that. More people were more on the spiritual aspect of it. That's why I said I'd rather it had been like actual spirits that they were actually dealing with than vampires and they even with the whole inviting thing, you got to invite the devil in. I'm like, they were already sinning. They were at a freaking juke joint sinning.
Married women was there getting down.
So I'm like, they was the spirit was already there.
But not arguably
when I'm already doing the
but not arguably we're all sinners and we all don't deserve heaven. So everybody is still a sinner regardless. Whether you in a juke joint. Yeah, for the vampire, but I'm just speaking towards those people that be like the people that were more so harping on that point, like, oh, but yeah, they're in the juke joint, and I'm just like, yeah, everybody's sinners, okay? So it's not even the inviting the devil in.
That's right.
We just but anyway, we can get into the. Well, I'll let y'all get into that.
I wasn't done yet.
Go ahead.
The other problem that I had, and we can enter into the church aspect of it. is when, because they had a whole bunch of voodoo in there. They had the church in the beginning of the scene because the boy was a preacher's kid and all that type of stuff. And I feel like all I learned from the movie was that voodoo was more powerful than Jesus, and I didn't like that being a Christian. I didn't care for that. Though he's saying, he quoting the quoting the prayer, the prayer that Jesus prayed. You know how to pray.
The Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to get it out. He was quoting the Lord's prayer, and the vampire quoting it right with him. But the steak though, the garlic and the steak, that's what got him. You know what I mean? I didn't care for the demeaning of the power of Christ, even with him coming to the church. And I'm like, why'd you even go back? You know, you could just jumped in a car. Like, why'd you even have to have that scene of you, like, you being right in front of salvation and not choosing salvation? And you go, like I said, it was the 1992 thing for me too. I was just like, he got the scars on his face, and you still, I literally wouldn't touch the guitar, because if we're going through stuff like this, I would have never played another instrument. I would have been in church. I would have become a pastor. That would have been my day. That would have been a pastor. I would have been leading everybody away from whatever's leading this thing to happen. But like I said, I feel like the movie was incomplete, because I feel like I probably would have been okay with the vampires if they really grounded that in.
I feel like Sammy didn't learn no lessons.
But yeah, if they would have grounded the vampires in a little bit more, as far as the meaning of them, like the purpose and the meaning and what truly drew them, I probably would have been more engaged with that. But it gave a big disconnect for me. But I didn't like that. Spiritually, it shown more voodoo was more powerful than Jesus Christ, and I didn't like that.
My issue with it spiritually, it was like all these Christian people was like, oh, you don't get the spiritual message behind it. And I'm like, I'm watching it like, there's not. This isn't like a T.D. Jakes film.
It's not.
This isn't.
I'm like, what spiritual?
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, they were like, oh, like.
But that doesn't change my opinion on the movie. That just changed my opinion on people.
Yeah. I agree with you. That's why everything I said about the movie, I wanted to save the Christian stuff till after, because I don't want anybody to be like, oh, he don't like the movie because he's a Christian.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to save it till after. I don't like it because it's a vampire movie. Let me just get down to it. I don't like vampires. All right. But anyways, I can't stand all this stuff I was seeing online about like, oh, you don't get the symbolism, like this represents the sin. But I'm like, no, it doesn't. It was a movie. Like it's and then the thing that bothered me the most is how they kept saying like, see, like you got to invite the devil in. But like when we watched it, Gina was like, "Oh, that happened on what's that vampire movie with a
Mom Had a Date with a Vampire."
Mom Had a Date with a Vampire. Like it's a Disney movie talked about that. Like vampires gotta wait to be invited in. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so yeah, the people bothered me on that. They tried to make it seem like this was the most spiritual. This is how you deal with the enemy movie, and I'm like. It's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen. Honestly, I don't know who's giving those opinions. I haven't seen a lot of those.
Oh, I will show you.
Yeah, because I literally have seen zero of those, and if I've seen them in the clip that you said you've seen them in, like in that capacity, obviously I'll be disagreeing as well. Because that's the problem that I have with people who are trying to equate this movie to a spiritual, like Christian movie, because there is a pastor in a church in the film. That does not make this movie a representation of Christendom, and I'm not looking for it to be. When I go see a film, when I go see
when you go watch a vampire movie,
Equalizer, I'm not looking to be like, oh Lord. But at the end, he was praying at the last. He was talking at the last one. I wasn't looking for that, so it's a pleasant surprise. It's like, ooh, okay, Denzel.
Hey man,
because Denzel saved.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
people bothered me, bro.
But see that. So back to kind of Gina's point. So yes, so. I would agree the voodoo aspect. Of course, I don't rock with voodoo at any point.
I don't think it was voodoo. I think it was hoodoo.
At any point though, did I feel like the voodoo that they imply that voodoo was stronger than Christendom? In my opinion, no. When I watched the movie twice, I was genuinely like, okay, let me be objective. Like I won't even say that because after my first watch, if I would have felt like that was the case, I would have felt that instantly. Like, oh, so the voodoo lady can do stuff. Honestly, to me, she didn't even do anything. Outside of, I guess, suspecting she was gonna die. So I think whenever she did her little voodoo blows or whatever, she kind of knew she was gonna die. That was her only thing. So she told him immediately after that, like, hey, if I die, which, she wasn't gonna say I was gonna die, but I think she knew she was gonna die. If I die, make sure you take me out because I don't want to turn, right? So other than that, there was no power that went forth from any voodoo lady, and that's not even a powerful thing. The only other thing that was implied that he gave her the mojo that was protecting him or whatever like that. Sure, you can make that point, but at the same time, that doesn't take anything away from the Christendom in the movie. Now, as far as the father and him going back to the church, the father, as he did, he stayed consistent in the movie. There was no sense of nobody even down talked to him. Even the twins, when they talked about him, oh, so he always been a good man. Mm-hmm. Everything they talk, he ever put his hands? No, he only puts his hand on them when they don't mind. Mm-hmm. Like everything in regards to the father was a strong black figure in his son Sammy's life, and more so was trying to guide him, encourage him to Christ. Hey, come play with me at the thing. He didn't even try to take away the fact of him playing music. He wanted to implement it into the church. So I thought that was very consistent. I was like, okay, I don't have any problems with as far as how they portrayed the church and the father. And then the fact of him welcoming him back when everybody wanted to get super overreactive, whenever he opened the doors and like, oh, look, what's going on with him? He said, no, calm down. Son, come to me. Mm-hmm. Put it down. Like, right? Still trying to welcome him to get him on board. Now, Sammy's decision to not drop the guitar, that's consistent in regards of what the message they were trying to bring as far as the movie. Now, of course, would I agree with that decision? I'll put the guitar down and hug my daddy. I just went through something traumatic, right? Now, of course,
that's all I want to hear. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, of course. But in regards to the movie, the point they were trying to make is, and earlier in the movie, whenever they were driving and he was singing or whatever, and he was talking about him being in jail with the guys and everything. I forget the guy's character's name. Delta Slim was talking about how, you know, people were equating to like white man's religion or whatever. I don't know what he said. But that was conducive to the times that they were in. So these are black people coming out of slavery, right? Or barely coming out of slavery. And they're going to have strong opinions against Christianity because when they were brought over here, it was pushed upon them in a sense to where they couldn't grasp it right. So you have the twofold. You have the father who's a pastor who understands the word, who understands it greater than Delta Slim does, but Delta Slim sees it from a standpoint of I was enslaved by people who profess this over me.
I get that.
So I'm disconnecting myself in that way. Now, when he makes the point that this is something as far as the music is something that they can't take away from us, that's what Sammy sees. And he was like, well, no, I'm not going to let this thing go that I'm passionate about because, you know, it would be a safer option for me because, he feels free when he does. He feels like this is my own or whatever. That's what that's more so speaking to. Now, I don't have a problem with people who have an issue with the fact that he chose to still play music
you
or
just
whatever
had a problem
after that.
With me?
Hold on, wait. But it's
So
for
you're
the
losing your
reason.
black card.
It's for your reasonings. It ain't have nothing to do. I don't have a problem with it if they're just like, no, he should have just stayed in church. I literally just said the same thing. If it was me in that situation, I'm dropping that dang guitar and I'm hugging my dad. I almost died.
And I'm glad we on the same page. Man.
I almost died, right? So, but as far as what the movie was trying to say in regards to the music and how it connected, I understand the decision. I'm not agreeing with the decision, but it makes sense for the character
That's
of
all I
Sammy.
want to hear, bro. I'm so happy right now. That's all I
Exactly.
wanted to hear.
You
We
feel
good.
vindicated?
I do. I feel
You
vindicated.
still losing your black card.
I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay
You
with
can
that.
get
So,
back.
and then also, I don't look for everybody, when I watch a movie, I don't look for the characters to make the Christian decision. I look for a good movie. If I go to watch a Christian movie, then I look for them to absolutely make the Christian decision. Now, if it's a movie talk about casting out demons, it's a horror film, and the pastors can't cast the demons out, I don't rock with that.
See, I agree
That
with you
pisses me off.
100%.
Now, that's when I'll be like, nah.
Because
Now, if the daddy came to the vampire and he said, plead the blood, and the blood don't do nothing, then I got a problem with it. Then I'm pissed.
I
okay?
agree with that.
But
I
that's
agree
not
with
what
that
happened.
100%.
That's not what this movie was trying to do.
Yeah. I feel vindicated, though.
I don't know how, but
I do. Because you admitted, you was like, yeah, I can understand how somebody could be like, why would you play the guitar again? That's all I wanted to say.
So the
But
No,
it's-
I'm
it's
not even
just
saying
like
play the
this.
guitar again. I'm talking about in that scene where he says he could have played the guitar the next
Okay,
day.
but yeah, you're right. But
I'm
you-
talking about in
you
that
would've
scene.
dropped it and hugged the
Yeah, I
pastor,
would drop and hug my daddy,
exactly. Yeah,
not the
100%.
pastor.
No,
I'm talking about
would've-
my daddy. I've
mm-mm,
been
man.
through a
Night like that, I
traumatic.
need as close to Jesus as possible. You know what I mean?
Well, that was his father.
I need to go find the cross Jesus was on. Get under that one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, I'm falling
At
to
the
my
end of the day
knee
like
with everything. But in regards to him still playing the music, it makes sense. And yeah, if he survived until 1992, then
But-
why would he get scared all of a
But-
sudden?
But it's like this,
Yeah.
man. Like I said, I started off giving the movie praise because I can objectively look and see the talent and everything that went into it. But it's like this, man. Like if you don't like musicals, and someone show you the greatest musical ever, you're gonna be like, that was a musical. That's how I feel about vampire movies. This could be possibly the greatest vampire movie ever made.
I heard it's barely a vampire
well,
movie.
she's like, it is barely a vampire
Yeah, it is
movie.
barely-
It is barely a vampire
I
movie.
wouldn't call it a vampire movie at
It
all.
is barely a vampire
It's a movie with vampires.
Okay.
in it.
It's a movie
Okay.
with vampires
Well,
in it
you
more
know,
so.
I only dislike parts with vampires in it. So it could be the greatest movie that has vampire parts in it. And those vampire parts, I just didn't like. And I'm not going to.
I'm curious
okay
to know
with that.
where would you want the movie to go?
I don't think it could. I think it went
Like-
where it was supposed to go. But then, like, can you just not be a fan of a genre? Like, is that a
No,
possibility?
I'm not talking about that part. I'm just saying like I believe I don't know, I
think
just
it
believe
went where
I
it was
believe
supposed to
the
go.
I
I
believe
think
the
they did what they were supposed
vampires in the symbolism as well as what the characters are leaning up to, like provided so much value to the film. In that, and of course, it was a surprising turn. Like if you didn't see any trailers for it, which I did have some. Of course, I knew there was going to be vampires in it.
Yeah, that was.
I
a
wish
surprising turn.
I wish I didn't know because I think it would have paid off more for me.
Yeah. You watch this movie. You don't know vampires is in this movie.
Yeah,
You see a little glimpse of something in the very beginning,
yeah.
and you're like, "What the
I'm not gonna
heck
lie.
is that?"
I was gonna watch the movie. I didn't know nothing about the movie. This all I knew was this: Ryan Coogler made a film, and he did his thing as a director.
Why is it
again,
called Sinners?
don't know. Have no. Again, I ain't watch it.
I think he explained it. I don't know really why he.
Two,
But
Michael B. Jordan
sense.
was in the movie. He acted his butt off, and apparently there was action involved. So
Phenomenal.
because of that, I was about to say, all right, next time I go to the movies, let's go see this movie, because that's all I knew. Then I found out it was a horror film, and I was like, oh, I don't watch horror. I didn't know that it wasn't a horror film
it's
until
barely a
20
horror
minutes in the
film.
video.
it's a horror film because they have to list it as that in regards to the ending, the last act of the film.
I mean, yeah, it's got it in there.
yeah,
and,
so
and,
I didn't.
and even like think about if you honestly liken it to Blade as being a horror film. Blade ain't to me horror. It's just a bunch of vampires fighting. That's literally what this
And I know
movie
I'm about
is.
to lose my black card for this,
Oh,
but
you
I
don't
told
like
somebody
Blade?
this. I don't like Blade.
Oh, no,
Golly.
You're cool with that. I don't care if you don't like Blade.
Yeah, I don't like Blade.
But well, we ain't got to get to that.
Wesley Snipes?
But, I mean, I like White Snipes. I don't like Blade.
He is
Yeah.
losing his black card today.
Yeah.
Man, if you're not
People
rocking
ain't-
with
people
all
ain't-
the black films, you lose your black
Nah,
card.
because I don't like no Medea film. I ain't gonna lie to
Hey,
you.
hold on now.
Wait, there's an
We
exception to
will
every
do
rule.
No Tyler Perry slant. No, I'm just playing.
There's
Nah,
an
you gonna get it
exception
here.
to every rule, and
I'ma
I think
slander
that's
it.
the exception.
I'm not gonna say not one.
No, we love the
The
original
very
Tyler Perry.
first
We
movie.
love OG
Wait,
Tyler
wait,
Perry
wait,
for
wait,
sure.
No. The plays. They're
plays are
yeah, they're
phenomenal.
untouchable.
The Medea movies.
The movies
are
though,
different.
the only
Tyler
movie
Perry
I like.
has some good movies. Medea don't have no good movies.
Yeah, Medea movies are all trash. The only movie I liked was The Diary of a Mad Black Woman, which I
That was
barely
the first
liked.
one he
And
did.
then, of course, this isn't a Medea movie, but Why Did I Get Married? Those
I repeat,
those were good.
Tyler Perry has a couple good
I
movies.
don't know that true story. The,
Medea
the
don't have no good movies.
5961 whatever. I
No.
don't know what it's called.
The
That
only
was good.
the only thing about the movie
I don't know.
Sinners though that
I haven't
heard,
seen it yet.
That was good.
Oh, I'm about to end the whole Sinners thing if you don't mind.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're good.
Only thing about Sinners that I heard that I was like, oh, I'm really not rocking with that is I did hear that it has some reoccurring themes that were just not rocking with Jesus. Not as in like, oh, they're not Christian, but it was like intentionally not Jesus. Is what it was seemed to be positioned to me. And also it was something like they gave us gospel music, but we created blues, which I just
Oh yeah, they did do that.
I just don't see that as true.
They gave us gospel music, but we created blues.
yeah, it said that. It
They
said
did
that.
say that, but this is coming from Delta Slim in the sense that he comes from oppression under Christianity through slave
Mm-hmm.
mentality, like or being enslaved, or So that's what that point was made from. But I don't even really think at any point that was like a super agreed upon thing from the characters in that sense. But they're saying blues as far as like our stylization of music, like they didn't give that to us.
Yeah, we made
Yeah.
it
We
ourselves.
made that
No,
ourselves.
I understand what it means. I mean, if the person I heard
Because
it from
gospel
is to be
music
true.
isn't a black created
It's
thing.
just my spiritual
Our
qualm.
gospel is definitely created by black folks.
Well,
My,
but you're saying our gospel, so it's our version of gospel. Gospel music is gospel music.
my
Rather, who like people? It's gospel
I-
music. It's music.
music
Edif-
from music from the religion isn't from us.
No,
Gospel music is from us.
okay. I mean, I
That's why we have CCM, contemporary Christian music, and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
those are like
It's two very different things.
that's like the white people playing the vampires playing the guitar outside
Yeah.
the thing.
But-
Like
Okay.
there's always been music
I think I be rolling.
based in the faith.
I was
There
crying,
hasn't
bro.
always been gospel music.
okay. I would have
It's
to
like-
look.
it's
I would
like
have to
soul
look
food.
at it. I would have to look at a definition of gospel music. But I understand that gospel music is overly influenced by black people, right? I understand that. But yeah.
But
But
I,
Martha Manuzzi, she make gospel music and she not black.
I like what you said earlier.
She
Though.
make our music.
I like what you said earlier though, like how you say like I don't go to
mean, it makes hip-hop.
secular films to see God.
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that because the people was acting like this was just such a spiritual movie,
Oh.
and that's what made me upset because I was like, how are you getting all this spiritualness from hoodoo? When you introduce spiritualism, that's when I have to combat it. You get what I'm saying? If you were just watching a movie, that's fine. But now you're getting a whole message from God. Where in
Yeah.
this movie are you
No.
getting that from? And that's what bothered me. And I'm gonna
Like,
show you because
like,
there was a lot
like
of
a
people
movie
saying
can
this stuff.
inspire you to
Sure,
draw a parallel to something.
sure. I
in
did
the
that
Bible.
when watching The Lion King.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can preach that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely, it can.
But that's me getting that. That's not.
Exactly.
that's
but the
not what the movie
intentionality
did.
of this movie was to be more so of a period piece that adds a supernatural aspect at the end.
Mm.
So there was people who did voodoo and stuff like that after in those times and stuff like that. So the value of having that character there was more so giving you a part of black
Right.
culture in the South in those areas that people were doing that.
Mhm.
So it makes sense why it's in there. Like for instance, if it was just like I don't know if it was just some random religion or something that she came up with on herself, and I was like, okay, this doesn't have anything to do with the period. Like then I would be like, this don't make sense. Why is she in the movie or why is she doing this? And if she was just like using voodoo skills to whip
To
the,
win.
to win and kill everybody, then I'll be like, okay, that's a little bit weird. Like, why are we promoting? But it was more so of like, it's not even a necessarily promotion of a thing. It's just this is what was happening, and I believe the value of having the church in there was just as valuable as far as the period to have the other girl in there because you're showing the parallels of what black people resulted or used or led towards. You had the super Christian, you had the in-betweener, the PK kid, you had the people who totally on the other side of the spectrum, black folks with the crystals and all that kind of stuff. You had the people who spited the church because they were enslaved by it. They think it's the white man's religion. You had every type of black person in association with
You had
that.
the
Then you had the
adulterous women.
gangster, you had the adulterous
Golly.
women, you had so it's everything. It's like black. It's just the period pieces, and it's the culture. You have a character you can resonate with on every front.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
yeah. They could definitely do a different movie together. Smoking Stacks.
Oh yeah, I love the characters.
You think Ryan Coogler should have a whole Coogler universe?
Sure, I think he's good. I think he's great enough. To get back to the praises of exactly what the film represents on a scale of just successful black people doing great things, is Ryan Coogler. This is his first like original like story. Everything else he's done has been either based upon the true story of Station or Marvel films.
Mhm.
And so stories that are already basically fleshed out that he had to basically
Everything he
flesh
does
out.
is a hit.
So now this is his first brainchild, that he gets to put out there, and for it to be successful as it is, like
No, he did his thing.
Everything he's done so far is a hit.
yeah, major.
Like
league.
like a
I think he's the
super
highest
hit.
grossing like earning director, a black director,
Black
all time.
excellence.
because with Black Panther.
And both of y'all losing your black card.
No, they're not losing their black
I
card.
didn't say nothing bad about
if
the
you
movie
if
'cause
y'all
I
don't
didn't
stop
see
with
it.
this black card stuff,
She said we saw it, we good.
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, so
It's-
I'm losing my black card.
yeah, because you didn't support.
You didn't even go see it.
I ain't gonna say nothing yet. I'm not gonna lie. I am gonna see Thunderbolt though.
Oh, you gonna see the white folks movie? Okay, I'm just kidding.
And if they
And-
all
and guess
die,
what? Hold
I
on.
like
if they
superheroes.
I just
die
I
in the
just
movie,
watched the Thunderbolts the other day.
trash.
I'm trying to think. Was there a black person in the movie?
She think it's too hard. Nope.
Yeah, see,
Ain't
you
no black
gotta
people
think
in
too
that movie.
hard. Yeah, you gotta think too hard.
Nah.
Extra or something, huh?
I saw.
I
Black
mean, I
Panther,
guess
though. 1 and
the
2.
the girl, she was colored. She had some color to her. I don't know if she was black though. The little girl that be phasing in and out of the doors.
That's crazy, man.
Is Thunderbolt about the dude that was in the Black Widow movie?
Yeah. Well, it's not about him.
No, but I'm saying is that him?
The
I'm
main
making sure,
character is
I'm making
Yelena.
sure that is the guy that I thought I saw.
Yes,
Okay,
the
cool,
sister
cool.
and
That's more than enough.
Red Guardian
Yeah.
got like it was a good movie. That
I
was a
just-
good movie.
I heard it was good, similar to Leonard. I don't watch horror films, and that's why I didn't want to go. That's the only reason I was like, I'm not gonna go see that. To be honest with you, but I do like superhero films. So,
What I
Yeah,
love is
I'm gonna
that
go
we
see
were
that.
able to disagree
mhm.
today.
And they let you keep your black card.
Cause I
Of
love
course,
being
your
a-
black card is kept. Thank you so much, Gina.
Guys,
You know what, Gina? You know I was thinking I was gonna have to,
I'm not
go in on you.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what? She did good.
Wait, what did she rate this movie? I ranked it higher.
Hey, she rated it lower, and she didn't like the vampires, and they really threw it off for her. Hey,
But she didn't explain. See, I just explained all the stuff
she
in
explained
the.
it.
No, she said vampires. I went down into the vampires. Why I didn't like it. It's okay. It was a good time. It made for great content.
Great. So,
Man.
do you think are we going into this?
This other thing,
Charlemagne?
I don't know. I feel like
I
it's
mean,
been
we're at
long
an hour
enough.
30.
Yeah, we.
I feel like this
This
is
is the
just the
longest
Sinners
episode
episode.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good
We're
though.
gonna get some viral clips out of this.
It was good though. You know what? Hey, go if you can stand it, if your spirit can handle it. Go see Sinners. It's a good movie.
WWJD.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
He watched the film.
Now, if you're just not into that kind of stuff, don't go see it.
Yeah, and don't be polluted by this world. You feel me? Don't do that. That's random. I just been going through scripture. I was telling Leonard about that. It has nothing to do with the movies. Just scriptures I've been going through. So yeah,
Yeah.
She said, "Go ahead and end it."
go ahead and end it. That's it. I'm ready to get to these cookies, y'all. That's been another episode of Three Good Guys podcast.
has been.
Shout out to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan for giving us an entire hour 30 minutes worth of content.
Of argument.
Of back and forth. It was fun to sit in between because, like I said, I didn't see it and I didn't know, but I still feel like
Well,
being a
you've seen
vampire.
it today.
I know. I kind of feel like I did. Still feel like being a vampire is a better way to go in this specific context. But anyways, that's been the episode. Y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you love the movie, tell us that you loved it and why. If you think he should lose his black card, let me know. This part specifically needs to be clipped. And I only say that because I've seen a lot of people talking about if you're not rocking with this, you're not black. I have seen that.
Those people are weird.
But anyways, we out of here.
Those people voted for Biden.
Dang.